Why can some people sell sand in the desert while others can't even sell ice cream on a hot summer day? It's because they're using psychology to draw buyers in instead of pushing them away. I'm Abi, and after struggling to sell my first few properties, I discovered simple psychological tactics that helped me sell over 500 properties. So to help you master the art of selling, here are 15 psychology-backed tricks that will transform how you close deals. Trick number 1. Sometimes buyers can be hesitant, unsure if they're ready to commit. So instead of trying to persuade them, I'd say, I only want to sell this to someone who's 100% sure this is the right fit. At first, it might seem counterintuitive to step back, but something interesting happens next. Suddenly, buyers start leaning in, sharing why they are interested and why this property is perfect for them. Trick number 2. Getting buyers to commit doesn't always happen in one big step. During conversations, I ask simple questions like, do you agree this property fits your needs? Or would you want a quiet retreat for your family? At first, they answer without hesitation, but something interesting happens along the way. Each small agreement builds momentum. By the time we get to the final decision, they're already saying yes, almost naturally. Trick number 3. Sometimes a small gesture can shift the entire dynamic of a sales conversation. I might say something like, I've included a free guide on how to use this land for maximum value. At first, it seems like a simple offer, but what happens next is unexpected. The buyer begins to engage more, the conversation flows easily, and by the end, they're eager to move forward. Why? Because when you give something valuable upfront, it builds goodwill and people feel naturally inclined to give back. Trick number 4. Early in my sales journey, I noticed that some buyers would shut down the moment they felt like they were being forced into something. So instead of jumping straight into my pitch, I'd pause and ask, would it be okay if I shared how this property could fit your needs? By asking for their permission, I handed them a sense of control over the conversation. This simple shift removed resistance and made buyers a lot more open to saying yes. Trick number 5. When I was starting out, pricing conversations were my biggest challenge. Buyers would push back saying,
This feels too expensive.
and I'd freeze, unsure how to respond. That's when I decided to try something different. In a conversation, I'd say, most land in this area sell for $30,000 to $40,000, but this one is listed at $25,000 because we're selling it directly with no realtors involved. The reaction was immediate. Buyers saw the $25,000 price as a bargain compared to the higher range I'd anchored in their minds earlier. Trick number 6. Building trust with a buyer isn't always about what you say. When I'm talking to someone and they're laid back, I stay calm. If they're excited, I match their enthusiasm. At first, it might seem like just following their lead, but by matching their tone and energy, they start to think,
Oh, this person gets me.
and that's when trust is built. Trick number 7. Sometimes selling isn't just about solving problems. When I'm talking to a buyer, I'll ask them, picture yourself building your dream home here or waking up to those beautiful mountain views every morning. At first, it's just a conversation, but as they start to visualize the possibilities, something shifts. The property isn't just land anymore, it's their future. And when they can see the dream, they can't help but want to make it real. Trick number 8. Sometimes buyers hesitate, thinking they have all the time in the world to decide. That's when I ask, by waiting, you could miss out on locking in this price or securing such a prime location. Are you okay with that? It might feel like a small nudge at first, but soon they realize what's at stake. The fear of losing something valuable always outweighs the hope of gaining it, and that's when urgency takes over. Trick number 9. Objections can feel like roadblocks, but they don't have to be. When a buyer says,
This seems expensive.
I respond with something simple. I totally understand. Other buyers felt the same way until they realized the long-term value. At first, it's just a conversation, but then they start to soften, realizing I'm not pushing against them. I'm on their side. By addressing their concerns with understanding, I shift the dynamic and turn their hesitation into trust. Trick number 10. Sometimes in a conversation, you can sense hesitation, an unspoken doubt lingering beneath the surface. I'll say, it seems like something's holding you back. Can we talk about it? At first, there's a pause. But then they start to open up. Maybe it's about the price, the location, or something they hadn't shared yet. By bringing it to light, we tackle the issue together. More often than not, it's exactly what's needed to move the sale forward. Trick number 11. When I talk to buyers, I don't just ask what they're looking for. I start with, why are you looking for land? Their initial answers are usually simple, but then I follow up with, what's been the biggest challenge with your current situation? That's when the real story comes out. The stress of noisy neighbors, the lack of space, or the longing for peace. And in that moment, the property isn't just land anymore. It's the solution they have been searching for. Trick number 12. Sometimes buyers hesitate, unsure if they're making the right choice. That's when I'll say, we have sold over 500 properties and helped families find their dream land for over 6 years. Then I guide them to the testimonials on our website. At first, they're just hearing about others' experiences, but as these details sink in, they start to feel reassured. It's not just about buying land anymore. It's about working with a trusted company that delivers results. Number 13. During conversations with buyers, I do more than just share details about the property. I might say, one of our buyers built a cozy cabin here. Now they spend every holiday surrounded by nature, saying it was the best decision they ever made. Initially, it's just a story, but as they listen, something changes. They begin picturing their own future on the land. Why? Because stories don't just inform, they create an emotional bridge that transforms hesitation into excitement. Trick number 14. Some buyers take their time weighing options, thinking there's no rush. That's when I'll say, this property is generating a lot of interest, and there are only a few like this in the area. At first, it's just information, but as they process it, the reality sinks in. It's an opportunity they might lose. It's not about rushing them, it's about making them realize the opportunity won't wait. Trick number 15. When I talk to buyers, I make sure the conversation feels personalized to them. I'll say things like, Alex, does this property feel like it aligns with what you're looking for? Or Maria, can you picture this being your family's perfect getaway? Hearing their name blended into the conversation shows them you genuinely care about their needs. And the result? The connection deepens and they become more eager to take the next step. But here's the thing. These tricks are just the ingredients, but the lessons are the recipe that ties it all together. And after flipping 500 properties, I've uncovered game-changing insights that bring it all into focus. So watch this video next to see the lessons that made all the difference.